Well, I figured it's about time we put the flag up around the farm here. Damn proud of our country, but I'm sure not proud of any of our elected officials. Yeah, and if you see anybody that's advertising for their campaign on my channel, believe me, it is not an endorsement. It's just something that randomly comes up thanks to YouTube. Well, today we're going to get into making sure we have water for the farm this year. So we're going to attack the irrigation pump and get it pulled out of its little house over here so we can get it turned in, get it fixed so it won't be leaking, because I'm going to need 100% of the water that I can get my hands on this year, I think. Yeah. So let's get right to it. Yep, power's off. Okay, first thing was to check to make sure the power was off. Now we're going to pull these side panels off of the little pump house here so we can get in there and do some work on it. The first thing I noticed right off the bat that we got a few issues with is right across over here on the other side. I've got some quakey aspens trying to grow inside of this thing. In fact, here's another one right here. So I may have to get out here with the shovel and dig those up and see if I can transplant them. Yeah, so anyway, the reason why I'm going to need 100% of the water this year, I can't afford to lose any out the bottom of the housing where it's been leaking, because I talked to a guy today that is thinking about getting a hoagie sandwich shop up and running, and he might need some fresh veg. Plus, if I do the fresh veg thing, whether it be for him or myself, and selling it outright to the local customer base, I'm going to need all the water I can get my hands on to get out there in the way of sprinklers and whatnot. So, yeah, that pump's got to get fixed. And there's nothing really wrong with it other than it is just leaking a little bit. Okay, so we got a white and a black together, and a white and a red together. And that's the only two colors other than the ground that's green in there that we got. So we'll undo these wire nuts and get the wires disconnected. And we'll see about what else I need to do. I may have to pull the wires up here and remove this thing here, however it's attached, this cord. Yeah, so we'll see what we need to get that done, but first up, we'll get the wire nuts off of this pump. There's a few plumbing changes I'm going to be making too. One of them, I'm going to be eliminating this filter assembly. It hasn't really done much of anything for me at all. Yeah, other than it helps as a place for getting air out of the lines when we're charging the thing first thing in the year. And yeah, I've got a union here, which is good. I've got a union here underneath that wiring, which is good, because that's all on the side of the pipe that comes out of the top of the pump. But if you look over there, there is no union. What I have here is a pressure switch on this T, and that pressure switch is supposed to shut the pump off if the water pressure drops too low, or if the water level drops below the intake. So to keep the pump from burning up, that's supposed to shut it off. My son and I installed that switch years ago thinking that I was going to have a timer system out here to run lawn sprinklers. Well, that would be nice, but honestly, I don't mind turning a valve. Yeah, we may still end up using it, and I did bury a sprinkler control box line clear out here to go to the different valve boxes we were going to put in out here that would run the sprinklers around the place. But yeah, I don't need an automatic sprinkler come on to water something when I'm trying to get water elsewhere. So instead of trying to figure out how to bypass the timer and all that, I don't think I'll install it, and just I'll have to waste that 190 feet of wire that I've got run between the garage and here where we were going to put the timer. Actually, it's almost 200 feet of wire. So yeah, it's a waste, I know, but sometimes that's what you got to do. So that's the timer mechanism with the pressure on and off switch. It's supposed to be wired in to the pump. There's an on-off switch out here, hanging out here on the front of the pole right there in that box that I can turn the pump on and off with. It's a two-way switch, off in the middle, on both sides. Flip it up for on and flip it down for on, but one of the ons was direct wired and the other one came through this pressure switch here that would automatically shut the pump motor off if we ran out of water in the pond. It has been my experience so far that I haven't needed that automatic shut-off switch, because I can usually tell when the intake is starting to get plugged up because I don't get the water flow that I should. And if the neighbor gets to screwing around with my water like they do every spring, I will know it, because it takes 10-12 hours for the water to get down from full to the intake of that pump. So if I'm gone to the in-town job or something, by the time I get home, I can catch it, shut it off, go up, fix the head gate, wait till the next morning, turn everything back on again. Yeah, so not a big deal. Well, I got the cord with the wire in it off, and I got the little box off of the pipe nipple where the wires come out for the pump motor. Now to remove those bolts right there that hold the whole thing in. Now, besides this irrigation pump, there's a whole list of things that need to get done, and I'm going to list them right here for you so you can see them all. And that's just a partial list of what we do need to get done this year to make 2024 happen and to make the farm start being a little bit profitable. And maybe it'll give you all something that you'll enjoy watching instead of just me tinkering around the farm doing much of nothing. Yeah, so yeah, this list here, that's what we're going to be doing this spring and trying to get accomplished. So 2024 will be a good year. One of the things that's not on that list is cleaning out that sediment that's down here in the bottom of the irrigation pump pond. Plus, I need to get into the main settling pond that catches most of the dirt and the mud that comes down from the neighbors and get it cleaned out this year too. And then there's the deal on where we're going to dump all of that soil that's coming down in the form of mud. Yeah, I've got to put some around the base of the old barn and a few other places around the farm, so we'll make that happen here in the next week or two. I know it may be hard for some of you to see it, but I can't get the bolts undone because all the water and mud that's in the water was dripping out. It's rusted the nut and the bolt tight shut together underneath this tray that the pump motor and all is sitting on. So I've got to grind the head off of the carriage bolts that hold the pump on. So that's the next step. Yeah. Now that I have both bolts undone or cut loose of the pump, I've got to get this separated somehow or another so I can get it out. I can get a pipe wrench on here and take apart that union there, but I don't have one over here. I do here at the front, but not right here. So I'm going to sacrifice that little, probably about a 2-inch long or so piece of PVC pipe. I'll cut that. Both of those T's are threaded here and over here. So I think what I'll do is take this valve, pressure valve out of here, move it over there where the filter assembly is, point it downhill and put a valve in there to help bleed the air out of the system. And then I'll put a union in over here to help take all this apart. So right now we're just going to cut this apart right quick. Whew, that plastic smells like skunk. Oh, yeah. Okay, there's that loose. And the pump will come out. I found that this really nifty little oil filter wrench worked really well to undo those PVC unions. I don't know that it would work on cast iron ones or cast steel ones that are cinched down real good and tight, but on PVC they work real well. These are a channel lock 209. Yeah, right there, 209. I think I'll grab another pair of those or two to have around the farm here for doing the other things besides pulling oil filters off the engines. Okay, all the pipe is loose, the pump is loose. Now just lift this puppy up out of here. Something kind of like that. Yeah. Yeah, now I'll get in there and finish cutting out the bolts that holds this in and get a couple of new ones. Probably going to get stainless ones this time and or brass nuts so they don't corrode and rust together. So yeah, I can get them apart. Anyway, we'll get this over to the truck so I can put it in the bed of the truck. I'll use the pipes that's on it as handles, and then I'll finish stripping it down, getting all the pipe and valves and stuff off of it. And yeah, we'll run it into the local pump repair house that repairs these things and have them put a new seal in down here between the front and the back half of the deal and do any other work that it's going to need. Yeah. That's going to wrap it up for today's little part one of taking care of our small irrigation pump here at the farm. The next video on that will be reinstalling it and changing some of that plumbing. In the meantime, I'd like to thank all of you that are our new subscribers to the channel and those that have continued to support the channel by watching and subscribing, and give us a thumbs up in the thingy down there at the bottom if you would. And for those of you that haven't subscribed yet, doesn't cost you anything. Just click on that big red thing down there. I'd appreciate it. We're shooting for 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Hopefully we'll make it. Anyway, I'm Farmer Dave, wishing you well. Y'all have a good one. Catch up with you later now. Bye-bye.